Don't mind the construction noises. It is what it is. But really, modern clinical therapy and psychology is really an attempt to replace the Holy Spirit, to get rid of the Holy Spirit out of your life, out of your personal life, out of your mind, out of your heart, out of your soul. You stop relying on God, or to prevent you from going to look for him, and to use these people as your counselor, as your comforter, as your helper. Because that's what Jesus said. Jesus, the Son of God, he said that the Holy Spirit is a counselor, a comforter, and a helper. The Holy Spirit gives you advice and counsel. He talks with you. He gives you ideas. He points you in the right direction of where to go. He tells you what's right and what's wrong, what's wise and what's not wise, what's good and what's bad, what's healthy, what's unhealthy. He tells you these things. He's a counselor. He gives you advice on life, and he talks with you about your problems. He is a helper. Jesus said that the Holy Spirit is the helper. And the Holy Spirit is also the comforter. In the Bible, it says that the Holy Spirit is the comforter. And these three roles are exactly sort of what clinical psychology, clinical psychiatry to some extent, and clinical therapy, that's what they're for. And what I really want to say is that these human institutions really don't do a good job. They fall short of the mark. Every time I hear someone talk about it, and every time that I've spoken with people before, I've spoken with doctors who talk about this, and they say, they've said there's no chance that you're going to, they can't cure you. You're not going to be cured. If you get cured, well, that's great, but that's not their intention. That's not what they're hoping to do. The modern medical viewpoint is that there's no hope. The viewpoint of modern medicine, and especially modern psychology, psychiatry, and therapy, is that there's no hope of actually helping you become cured. They're not going to cure you of any mental diseases. They don't believe that that's possible. They don't think it's possible, and they're honest about it. They admit that they're not able to do it. But they're trying to supposedly help you out of a position that they don't believe that they can. They will try anyway, but they don't believe that they can, and that doesn't really make for a very helpful institution. But the point is, they are trying to replace the Holy Spirit. And when I noticed this, where did I notice this from? My family, we watch NCIS all the time. And I know it's television, but that's not the point. It doesn't matter. The point is the portrayal of the role of a psychologist in the later seasons of the show, because the cast of the characters keeps on changing. So eventually, in the later seasons, they bring in this psychologist lady. And as I was watching how she behaved and her position in the story as a psychologist, I realized she is trying to take the role of the Holy Spirit, that role of counselor, comforter, and helper, in the middle of this story. And I realized that is exactly the same thing that all psychologists everywhere, that's what they try to do. At least secular psychologists. Secular ones. But basically, I noticed this from the show, and then I realized it's also true of the whole world. It's true of real life as well. And, there's a reason why this is done. The reason why is that people want to be atheists. They want to deny God. They want to push him away from their mind. They want to pretend that he's not there. They want to deceive themselves, even though they have more than enough evidence that they can see that God is around them, but they choose on purpose to drive that knowledge out of that mind and to suppress their own memory. They suppress their own knowledge and memory because they don't like it.